Um, First, please introduce yourself and let us know where you're from.
Well, right now, presently I'm known as Greg X, otherwise known as Young Guard from the Cipher Sound crew, South Jamaica, Queens, Sufton, 40, Rockaway Boulevard. Also for the greater Jamaica area, Farmers Boulevard, Hollis Avenue, Linden Boulevard. Pretty much South Jamaica is where I'm from, but known throughout all of the greater Jamaica. Right now we're on the north side, which is a very busy side, very rich in history with hip hop and hustling, street game, all of that. So where we are right now is very relevant to what you're trying to do.
Nice. How would you describe your childhood from the area that you grew up in, and kind of what you witnessed? What kind of shaped you as a kid growing up?
Now I'm a little older now, so I probably would use a little different language. But my childhood was pretty traumatic, but I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I come from a household that was inundated with drugs. You know what I'm saying? And we come from a place in South Jamaica where we had to learn how to survive mentally and physically. But we also found a way to enjoy poverty. In fact, they had to tell us we were starving. We had to find out. You know how I found out we was broke? Through the fucking Brady Bunch. I was like, did that bitch just make her a sandwich? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe that shit. Like, you know, and poured her a glass of milk. And then I realized the difference between affluence and economic disadvantage.
What can you remember about the music you were hearing as a kid, and what was the first type of artist or music that you were hearing that you really gravitated to?
It's crazy that you asked that. Just yesterday I was listening to the Isley Brothers, right? And Living for the Love of You, right? I remember my mother, and is this good enough? Is this all right?
That's good, yeah.
This work right here? Yeah. I remember my mother and the people of the stoop. I grew up on a block called Shore Avenue, right? In between Shore Avenue and 40 Projects. My grandmother lived in the projects. So whenever I just needed to escape the dead-end street, I would go and live with my grandmother. But back to the music, the Isley Brothers, Ron Isley, and then, you know, moving forward, when I think of music, because I didn't really know them by artists, it made me think of the Cipher Sounds, Love is the Message, and Rock Creek Park, and various other songs that we danced to. We had our own dances as well. Yeah.
How did you first get into? You were DJing, right? At an early age. How did you first get into that? What kind of like inspired you to want to?
Actually, it was my brother and my cousins that was DJs. I never really was a DJ. I would rock the mic to some degree. We was gangster rapping back then. We was telling the story from a block called 150th Street back then. You know what I'm saying? This is a story that never been told. 3 young boys that's oh so bold. One so cheap, but the other so blow. We all got money on 150. So here we go, yo. I mean, we would say that then. That was back then. We was gangster rapping then. That was pre-80s.
What inspired you to want to start rhyming? You were hearing other people doing it?
Yeah, I mean, because me and my other man, Steve, we used to be uptown a lot. We used to be in Harlem a lot. And we would go to, you know, Bronx River. We would go to Chuck Center. We would be at little after-hour spots uptown, a joint called Joe Grant's. We'd be in Forster Projects. But that wasn't it. Divine from Infinity Machine. But Divine from Infinity Machine is originally from the Cipher Sounds. They had already started music, and we just kind of was in touch with that ghetto movement. So we just was expressing ourselves.
For somebody that's not familiar with, you know, a younger person that doesn't know about Cipher Sounds, how would you describe like what it is, what it's all about? You know,
Cipher Sound was like a movement. A Cipher Sound sprang a movement that from Cipher Sound came Infinity Machine, then came Phase 3, and then what was Livio's crew? What's the name of Livio? Sound Experience, and then we had Jamaica Sounds from the north side. So I would say Cipher Sounds was at the nucleus of hip hop in South Jamaica, and then you would have to interconnect that with the street vibe, because whoever was getting money, if they had a shindig that they was getting, yo, get the Cipher Sounds. You get the Cipher Sounds, so that now is connected with hustling on the street. It's connected with fashion. We had dug up some of our old pictures, and you should see the clothes that we were wearing. We were very conscious of our style at that time as well. So it was music, money, not so much violence. Every now and then, somebody would get drunk, you got to whoop their ass and something like that. But we wasn't really into killing each other so much like that. That came later.
Were you guys known for like battling or rocking parties, or what was the main?
We originally started out rocking parties. It wasn't really so much. Then the battle style started with the sound systems and stuff like that. It's up to this day, it's a controversy as to who's the king with sound systems, but pretty much hands down, if truth be known, Infinity Machine was the king when it came to that. I mean, we know that Disco Twins, they came with what they came with, but nobody had the uniformity like Infinity Machine. Infinity Machine had the system, the modern system back then that will probably still represent nowadays. And then not only that, then they came with the van to go with it. So it was really, people can, pop shit or whatever, but at the end of the day, they be lying. Infinity Machine was holding that down when it came to sound system and sophistication with sound.
How did your family feel about you taking that more serious, spending your time being a part of a group, DJing, doing music?
My family, right, it wasn't really me so much that took it real serious as much as my cousin Alon Standing and my brother Prince. I have another cousin, Arnie Yarn, who used to rock the mic too. We were more criminals, like, you know what I'm saying? We would do that as a pastime and to have fun. But our objective pretty much was to engage the street and get money.
All right. Do you have any like favorite highlights when you look back over the years of those times of all the memories that you can think of, probably hundreds, but is there any that stands out that have been like really important to you or significant?
I mean, what's important, like right now when I'm sitting here, I see Davy J, my man, tell me your name again, Anthony, Kenny and Junior, and Divine, the unity that we had, like, even though we had different sound systems, this, that, and the other, we all came together and it was always love. And I always dug the females. The females was good, so we had 160, we had 48, we had Ajax, and we had Lincoln Park. And like when we would come together, man, if Phase 3 is rocking that week, we all there. So we off, we ain't got to carry no crates. We could chill with the chicks and we can, yo, nigga, you got the new Uptowns, what's up, blah, blah, blah. We smoking weed, we going crazy. Some of us lost our minds behind that. It didn't stay beautiful like it could have, but the fond memories was that, man, the unity and moving around Greater Jamaica. And interacting with people. Even over here when we would go to Jamaica Park and Jamaica Sounds before things kind of got jaded.
Yeah. So when